lovely faces. Greetings, lovely faces. Greetings, lovely faces. We are exploring common themes with your girl with the good vibes, Goddess. Yes. So today on Exploring Common Themes, we are talking about fear. Fear, a four-letter word, and how fear, this four-letter word, is ruining your life. It's ruining your life, and you probably don't even know it. Honestly. But you know what? The reason why we're talking about it is because in order to break through, we must first realize that there is something that needs to be broken through from, of something that needs to happen, right? So if you've ever been to any type of AA meeting or any type of anything, substance abuse, not saying that I have, but I've seen TV and I watched movies. So, you know, in order to free yourself from a situation, you must first recognize that there is a problem. So you don't know that fear is a problem if you haven't yet recognized that fear is a problem. And that's what this video is about. It's about the recognition of fear in your life and things that you may do out of fear that you may not realize that is caused by fear. All right, so let's define fear. We're going to define fear, and I have my handy dandy notebook. So fear, by definition, is an unpleasant emotion caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or is a threat. One more time. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or is a threat. So let's start right here. Fear is a emotion. Something that's felt internally is an emotion that's caused by a belief. A belief is an intangible something. A belief is a thought form. Is a thought something that you found yourself to be true without evidence, right? That's what a belief is. It's a thought form that you have found to be true, or you believe, I didn't want to use the word in the definition, that you find to be true that has no evidence of factuality, right? So fear is an emotion, something that you fear out of something that is thought, that you believe, that there's no evidence of. If you ever watch Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters Diving Deep, you know, he uses an acronym for fear, and his acronym is false evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. Fake. Fear is fake. It only exists in your mind. There's a quote that says, the only thing to fear is fear itself. That means if you don't fear fear, then there's nothing to freaking fear. The only thing there is to fear but fear itself. If you don't fear fear, then there's nothing to freaking fear. Fear. Don't fear it. Fear. Don't fear it. The only thing to fear is fear itself, and fear is a thought form that you have found to be true that there's no evidence of. You know, there are some things that you can fear, you know, like, I don't know, walking through graveyards at night. I don't know, but even that's in thought form. You project your thoughts to what could or could not be there as far as like ghosties and stuff. That's way off subject, kind of. So, fear is an unpleasant emotion, something that you feel caused by something that you think about something that's not quite there, right? So fear in your life, you do certain things out of fear that you may not even realize that you do because of fear. So within this video, we're going to talk about things, forms of fear, I guess, habits or things that you do because of fear. I'm sorry, I don't mean to repeat myself. That's not intended. But anyway, so form number one is overthinking. Overthinking. A lot of times we hold up progress within ourselves along our journeys, and we don't proceed and progress along our journeys because we're too busy thinking about how to begin our journey. We're too busy pondering the journey without actually living and doing and experiencing the journey, right? So overthinking. Overthinking. You think about it, well, I could. So like something that I do, I plan and plan. I have all this paper and I write down all of my goals in the paper just to do nothing with it. And I just write and I think and I doodle and I do the little, what's it called? The little web chart, and I put me in the middle and I got these other little points coming out of it, like, okay, this is me, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do that, and somehow I'm going to draw it all together and be this wonderful person thing, right? And so fear, a lot of times we overthink, and overthinking is because we're afraid to take forward steps. We're afraid of taking the wrong steps. Along with overthinking comes second guessing. You think, and then you finally, it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to take a step, and in mid-step, you're like, nah, I'm going to go this way. And then in mid-step, you're just like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't step at all. And then because you're overthinking, and overthinking causes you to second guess, and something else that comes with overthinking, there's a quote that says, analysis is paralysis. Analysis is paralysis. Think long, think wrong. So it's best to just move, to act, to get into the flow of whatever it is that you're trying to do so you can continue your journey. This is my word for journey. So you can keep journeying, right? So, overthinking leads to analysis is paralysis, think long, think wrong. It's a stop when there should be a go. And the reason why you don't go is because you're afraid of the actual journey itself, or you're afraid of making the wrong decision along the journey. When in actuality, there are no wrong decisions. It's just learning and picking up from what you learn and continuing, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is procrastination. A lot of times we overthink, we second guess ourselves, and then we still don't act on it, or we put off for another day, for another time, another day, another time. And a lot of times, the same thing with overthinking. We procrastinate and we choose to not move forward, or we choose to put off moving forward because maybe today isn't the right day. Fear. Okay, well, maybe right now isn't a good time. Maybe, well, next week so-and-so is going to come and help me with this thing that I was working on. Fear, like excuses are a part of fear. Procrastinating is an excuse. Overthinking can be an excuse. Some people are just anal. Some people think, and they think that they're progressing because they're thinking about progressing, but unless you're actually doing it, you are not progressing. And it's fear that's keeping you from moving forward. So you overthink, you procrastinate, and then in action, you don't act. You have it figured out, and you're going to do it one day soon, eventually, and then one day soon eventually never comes because you over procrastinated, because you overthought it, because you second guessed yourself, and then you still didn't do anything. So fear is keeping you stuck. Fear is ruining your life. If you find yourself in this constant cycle, this circle where it's like, yes, I think I'm going to, okay, let me think about it. Okay, well, now that I have it all thought out, let me make some actions. But you know what? Today isn't the day for that, so I'm going to move it off to another day. And then the other day never comes because you keep pushing it off and putting it off and pushing it off and putting it off. And then you never move forward with it, or something comes up and now you can't because you put it off for so long, because you're running from progress and from progressing, or for doing that thing that you need to do in order to have the things that you say you want to have, in order to live the type of life that you want to live. You ain't doing it because you are procrastinating. And the procrastination and overthinking and inaction are all excuses of why you're not where you want to be, of why you're not who you want to be, of why other people make it and you're not making it, of why, this and why that, and because people who fear the most have the most excuses. And I found myself, everything that I'm telling you guys, I'm pretty much guilty of myself. So I procrastinate. I've been a procrastinator. Definitely an overthinker. I've had people for years telling me, you think too much. And I'm like, no, I'm doing something with these thoughts. I need to think about it. I like thinking. I don't know, it tingles my mind. I like for my mind to be tingled. Yes. So Fear, a 4-letter word. False evidence appearing real. In order to break through fear, another acronym that Ralph Smart uses is face everything and rise, right? My nail polish. Face everything and rise. To get unstuck, you're going to have to face your freaking fear and get unstuck. You're going to have to face everything you fear and rise. Face every freaking thing you fear and rise. Otherwise you're going to keep overthinking. You're going to keep procrastinating. You're going to keep second guessing yourself. And then then you'll never act. Then you'll never move. Then you'll never progress. Then you'll never find the flow. And then abundance will never find you. And then you'll have all of the excuses of why you weren't the greatest, this and that. And you had dreams of being the most wonderful, this and that. And you can't believe that it never came to pass, that you and this big idea that you have of yourself never became anything more than an idea because you left the idea in your mind. Wow. Mind blown. Mind blown. You left the idea in your mind. You didn't move to action. You didn't act upon that which you say you want to do. And, I'm here to help you recognize certain things so you can recognize, realize, and move forward. Do what you got to do. I can't help you with anything other than helping you see. I had a college director. He was like, open your mind. He said, you're looking like this. You need to look like that, rather than just this. There's more to it. There's more to it. There's more to this life thing. If you can just get over fear. Like I said, I'm speaking to you guys, but I'm also speaking to myself, because sometimes I can be a whiner. I'm just like, I don't want to do it. For real. Yep. Ugly cry just like that too. I wanna, but it's all, I'm mature enough to recognize fear when it occurs, and when I'm doing something and I kick myself and I keep going. Even if you fear it, even if you're trembling, you still need to move forward with something, with that which you say you want to do. Because how else are you going to manifest it? How else is it going to materialize? How else are you going to know your full potential if you don't allow yourself to blossom and to bloom? If you don't take off the lid, and see what the perfume smells like. If you don't, if you don't do that which needs to be done. Stop stopping yourself from being great. Stop stopping yourself from being great. Okay? We are exploring common themes. I am the Good Vibes Goddess. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Have a great day, you guys. Until next time, peace.